Hello everyone, today we are doing the Plus 1 Political Science PYQ series number 2, Part A, Chapter 6 to 10, long answer questions. So let's jump into it. Chapter 6, Judiciary. First question. Indian judiciary is considered independent and impartial. Discuss the provisions which ensure the independence of judiciary in India. So the answer outline is how judges are chosen. The judges are picked based on their legal experience, not their political views. Then the job security. Once appointed, the judges stay in their position until retirement, and removing them is through the impeachment process, which is a very difficult one, right? Then comes the financial freedom. Their salary is fixed. Fourth, protection from criticism. People can't personally attack judges, and laws prevent unfair criticism. Then fifth, limited political interference. The parliament can't question a judge's action unless they are being removed or they are the process of removal. Second question. Briefly explain the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India. First, the original jurisdiction, which handles the disputes between central government and states or between the states. Second, writ jurisdiction. It directly takes up the cases where someone's fundamental rights are violated, can issue orders, or we can say writs under Article 32 to the government to correct unfair actions. Next, appellate jurisdiction. The Supreme Court is considered as highest court of appeal in India, and in the serious criminal cases, including the death penalty cases, appeals can be made. Next, advisory jurisdiction. The President can ask the Supreme Court for advice on important legal or constitutional issues, and the advice isn't mandatory, but it helps the government make informed decisions. Third question. Write the merits and demerits of judicial activism. Judicial activism is when the courts take an active role in ensuring justice, sometimes stepping beyond their usual role. So this public interest litigation started in 1979, allowing anyone to file a case on behalf of others even if they aren't personally affected. So this PIL, public interest litigation, became a tool for judicial activism, solving public issues like human rights violation, environmental concerns, and social welfare. Courts sometimes act on media reports or citizen complaints to address the important public matters. As the question demands, the impact of judicial activism, like the positive and negative, like the merits and demerits. So the positive impact helps the common people, give justice to those who can't easily access the courts, keeps the government in check, and brings social changes, make elections fairer, requires politicians to disclose their assets and criminal records. Negative impact includes too much interference. Courts sometimes get involved in government decisions which isn't their job. Then slows down the legal system. Too many public interest litigation cases can delay the regular court cases. Then it disrupts the balance of power. The judiciary may take on roles meant for the government, causing the conflicts between these two organs of government. Chapter 7, Federalism. First question. Give a brief explanation of the features of federalism. An outline. First, the dual government. India has two levels of government, central government and state government. Both have their own powers and work independently under the constitution. Second, the division of powers. The responsibilities are divided into three lists: the union list, state list, and concurrent list. Third, supremacy of the constitution. The constitution is the highest authority. Everyone must follow it. It ensures a fair balance of power between the center and the states. Fourth, independent judiciary. The courts make sure that both governments follow the constitution, both the central and state government. The Supreme Court settles the disputes between the center and state to keep things fair. Second question. The Constitution of India creates a strong central government. Explain the provisions that make the central government stronger. A strong central government was needed to manage India's vast cultural and economic diversity. A powerful center helped integrate the provinces and princely states after independence. The center was given more power to tackle the issues like poverty, illiteracy, and inequality through proper planning. The discretionary powers of the central government includes the state creation. The parliament can change the state boundaries or create new states. Then emergency powers. The president can declare emergencies, centralizing authority. Financial control. Then governor's role. Governor can dissolve the state legislatures and send bills to the president. Then the center can make laws on state subject in special cases. Executive power includes central executive authority overrides the state powers. Then administrative wing, all India service officers like IAS, IPS and IFS, Indian Forest Service, work in states but are controlled by the center. Third question. There are many conflicting areas in the federal system in India. Explain them based on the given points. First one, the central state relations, demand for autonomy, demand for new states, and interstate conflicts. In center-state relation, the Indian constitution gives more power to the center, causing tensions with states. The governors appointed by the center often clash with the state government, especially when different parties are in power. And Article 356, the president's rule, is controversial, with states accusing the center of misusing it to dismiss the elected governments. Next, the demand for autonomy. States like Tamil Nadu, Punjab, and West Bengal have demanded more control over governance. Major concerns include the power division, financial independence, administrative authority, and cultural identity. Then, the demand for new states. States have been reorganized based on the linguistic, cultural, and regional identities. New states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh were created, but the demands for the statehood in Vidarbha and other regions continue. Finally, the interstate conflicts, the frequent border disputes, the example, the dispute between Maharashtra and Karnataka over Belgaum region, then water sharing disputes, the Kaveri River dispute between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Then the judiciary helps resolve the legal disputes, but many require the political negotiations for lasting solutions. Chapter 8, Local Governments. First question. Explain the changes brought by the 73rd Constitutional Amendment. It provided constitutional status to panchayats, promote democratic decentralization of power and resources. It is based on the Gandhian principles for three-tier governance. Essential features of the 73rd Amendment. It includes Gram Sabha, defined as a body of registered voters in a village, empowers the local functions. Then the State Election Commission, the three-tier system, the composition of panchayats, the manner of election, the direct election procedure, reservation of seats for SC, ST and for women, then the duration of panchayats for 5 years, then the duties and powers, the panchayats plan for the economic development and social justice. Finance Commission, the State Finance Commission is there to take the matters of the panchayats. Then the audit of accounts, the panchayats maintain and audit their accounts. And finally the finance, the panchayat may levy taxes, collect duties and receive state grants. Chapter 9, Constitution as a Living Document. First question. Write the article in the Indian Constitution which deals with the amendment procedure and explain the 3 methods of the amendment procedure of the Indian Constitution. So the first part of the question is asking about the particular article, which is Article 368 included in the Part 20 of the Indian Constitution. Second part of the question about the amendment procedure, and we clearly mentioned that 3 methods. The first one is simple majority, which makes changes in the state creation, citizenship and language, which needs only simple majority. Second is special majority, and special majority in both houses separately. That needs the amendments in fundamental rights, BPSP and preamble. Third one, special majority and state ratification, or we can say state approval. The approval from both parliament and at least half of the state should also agree with it. Second question. Indian Constitution is a living document. Comment. So, a living document means that the Constitution is flexible and can adapt to the changing needs of society over time. So, we can say it's an evolving document, right? Then comes, it is not too rigid because it allows a modification through amendments while maintaining its core principles. The Indian Constitution provides a detailed amendment procedure in the Article 368, as we mentioned in the earlier question also, which allows the Parliament to modify it as per the needs of the changing times. So a great example for this, which make a big change in the decentralized governance system, that is 73rd and 74th Amendments. The Supreme Court and High Courts play a crucial role in interpreting the Constitution. Example, the Basic Structure Doctrine. The Constitution has been amended to address the new challenges like the reservation policies, environmental laws. Third question, identify the features of 42nd Constitutional Amendment in India. The 42nd Constitutional Amendment is considered as a mini constitution because it made a lot of changes to the constitution. It modified the preamble, the 7th schedule, and 53 other articles, making it one of the most extensive amendments. It aimed to reduce the Supreme Court's power of judicial review, challenging the Keshavananda Bharati case ruling, increase the Lok Sabha's term from 5 to 6 years, and the fundamental duties introduced for the first time in the Constitution through this amendment. And they passed it during the emergency also, when opposition leaders were jailed. The opposition saw it as an amendment to centralize the power. Many provisions were later repealed by the 43rd and 44th Amendments post the emergency. Fourth question, write a short note on the basic structure theory or basic structure doctrine. So the outline includes, it is established in 1973 through the Keshavananda Bharati case. The Parliament cannot amend the core principles of the Constitution. There is a basic structure for the Constitution which cannot be amended. The Supreme Court decides what forms the basic structure. It is not list out the things what constitute the basic structure. In the further cases, it will explain it. Maintains a balance between a rigid and flexible constitution. The core principles of the basic structure includes democracy, secularism, fundamental rights, judicial review, and federalism, which each these concepts actually evolved through different judicial cases only. In the final ruling, the basic structure cannot be changed by the Parliament. Chapter 10, Philosophy of the Indian Constitution. First question, briefly explain the political philosophy of the Indian Constitution, which includes individual freedom, protects the rights like free speech and safeguards against arbitrary arrest. Social justice, provides reservations and affirmative actions for the marginalized groups. Respect for diversity, ensures equal rights for different religious and linguistic communities. Fourth, secularism. The state remains neutral in religion while ensuring the religious freedom. Fifth, the universal franchise. Every citizen has a right to vote, ensuring democratic participation. Sixth, federalism recognizes special provisions for the states with unique needs. Seventh, the national identity. They balance the regional, religious, and linguistic identities while promoting the unity. Second question. Like all other democratic constitutions, the Constitution of India was also criticized on many grounds. Write down those criticisms. So we have to point out the criticism in this question. First one, it is lengthy. It's too lengthy, which includes detailed provisions, unlike other countries where many aspects are left to the ordinary laws. Unrepresentative. It was drafted by the Constituent Assembly before the adult franchise, leading to concerns that it did not fully represent all sections of the society. It's a kind of unrepresentative. Then alien to Indian culture, that critics argued it is too westernized because many provisions are borrowed from different constitutions, right? So this is a bit alien. Then comes not always suitable for Indian conditions because some provisions may not always align perfectly with India's diversity and these evolving socio-political realities. So let's wind up this session. Stay tuned for more videos.